So we are continuing a chapter. Chapter name is reproduction, reproduction organism, and here we are taking the portion asexual reproduction. So vegetative propagation is a type of asexual reproduction. Okay, so what is meant by vegetative propagation or vegetative reproduction? Vegetative propagation is asexual because only one individual is involved and the formation and the fusion of gametes are absent. So, in asexual reproduction, the formation and the fusion of gametes are absent. That's why it is known as asexual reproduction. And vegetative reproduction is an example for this asexual reproduction. The young ones produced are clones because they are exact copies of their parents. Okay, the term vegetative reproduction is generally used in the case of plants. Here it is. The term vegetative reproduction is generally used in the case of plants. The various vegetative reproductive methods are rhizome, tuber, bulb, runner, offset, sucker, bulbils, leaf buds. Once more I am telling, vegetative reproduction or propagation is a mode of asexual reproduction in which a new plants are obtained from the vegetative part of the plants. Okay, vegetative part of the plants means that have the capability to give rise to new offspring. Okay, so the example for this vegetative propagation is rhizome, tuber, bulb, runner, offset, sucker, bulbils and leaf buds. Okay. So the first one is rhizome. Rhizome means underground flattened and horizontally growing stem is known as rhizome. Underground flattened and horizontally growing stem is known as rhizome. So it possesses nodes, internodes, scale leaves, buds and adventitious roots. Example for this rhizome is ginger, turmeric, that are examples for the rhizome. So it possesses nodes, internodes, scale leaf buds, adventitious roots. That is very important. From which portion of the rhizome a new organism is forming? Okay, so this type of questions are quite common. So it possesses nodes, internodes, scale leaf buds and adventitious roots. Okay, and the next one is tuber. Tuber is also an underground stem and it is also swollen, fleshy, round or oval shaped structures. That is known as tuber. Underground stem is modified into swollen, fleshy, round or oval shaped structures. That is known as tubers. So these tubers have eyes. Tubers have eyes which represent nodes, okay, bearing the scale leaf and the bud. So the potato is an example for the tuber. Potato is arising from the typical eyes or the buds. Okay, so the eyes represent nodes. So in case of vegetative propagation, this rhizome, tuber, bulb, etc., they are having these nodes, adventitious roots or adventitious buds. From this, the new organism is forming. Okay, the next one is bulb. Bulb is an underground stem. Is reduced into a compact disc-like structure with adventitious roots. Okay, and foot-stored fleshy leaves are overlapped into a bulb-like structure. Okay, so in the case of bulb, the important point is scaly, fleshy leaves and also adventitious root. Clear it is. So example for the bulb is onion and garlic. Bulb means underground stem is reduced into a compact disc-like compact disc means CD, compact disc-like structure with adventitious roots and foods stored in fleshy leaves, okay, are overlapped into a bulb-like structure. Terminal and lateral buds are also present in it. Terminal buds and lateral buds are also present in bulb. Example is onion and garlic. So rhizome example ginger, tuber example potato and the bulb example onion and garlic. Okay, the next is runner. So runner means grasses and wild strawberries are included in the group runner. It originates above the soil from the axillary buds of the parent plant. Claritas. It originates above the soil from the axillary buds. That is very important. Axillary buds of the parent plant. It is delicate with long internodes and runs horizontally. Okay, so adventitious roots are given out at nodes and fix the runner to the soil. Older parts die and the young parts become new plant. So the runner is forming just parallel to the soil. It originates above the soil from the axillary buds of the parent plant. It is delicate with long internodes and runs horizontally. Adventitious roots are given out at nodes and fix the runner to the soil. Okay, from a new plant is arising, it having adventitious root. This adventitious root fix the plant into the soil. Then the older parts die and the young parts become new plant. It happening in the cases of grasses and wild strawberry. Next group is offset. Water living organism, water living plant, that means Eichhornia and Pistia having this type of vegetative propagation, offset propagation. Okay, Eichhornia, example is Eichhornia. The other name of Eichhornia is water hyacinth, or Pistia is an example for this offset group. In this, lateral long and slender internodes are formed from the axillary buds of aquatic plants. Okay, that slender nodes and lateral nodes are erased from the axillary buds of aquatic plants. That is known as offset. Okay, so when it is getting detached, it will lead a new life. Clear it is? Then the next category is sucker. Okay, it originates from the basal stem of the parent plant. Suppose the basal stem parent plant just turn or shifted to the soil. From the soil, parallel to that portion, a new new roots will be forming. Okay, this type of vegetative propagation is sucker. Commonly occurs in banana, pineapple, and chrysanthemum. So sucker is a type of vegetative propagation in which it originates from the underground basal stem of the parental plant. It is stouter and shorter, grows horizontally and emerges obliquely upward. And the next group is bulbils. Okay, instead of flowers, aerial vegetative buds. So here the type of bud is vegetative buds. Instead of flowers, aerial vegetative buds develop into the inflorescence axis. Such aerial buds are known as bulbils. On the detachment of these bulbils result into new plants. Clear? That type of vegetative propagation is bulbils. Okay, example for this bulbil is agave plant. Agave plant is otherwise known as century plant. Okay, the next is leaf buds. Example for this leaf buds is bryophyllum. Okay, in bryophyllum, from the adventitious bud. Okay, adventitious bud. So here I am telling axillary bud, vegetative bud, adventitious bud. So please be clear which type of bud I am telling. Adventitious bud. From the adventitious bud, a new organism is forming. That is known as leaf buds. Example is bryophyllum and kalanchoe. Okay, so here are some pictures of the vegetative propagation methods. Okay, so here this is the rhizome. The rhizome having node, bud and scale leaves. So these are the pictures of vegetative propagation methods. I hope you can see this picture. So this one rhizome example, the turmeric and the ginger is an example for the rhizome. They are having the node and bud and scale leaf. From this a new organism is forming. And here is a picture of the potato. So here the new buds are arising from the ice. Okay, germinating buds originating from the ice. And here in this case of this onion, in case of onion there is bulb. Okay, so the adventitious roots are erased from that compact disc-like structure. From this compact disc-like structure, new adventitious root are forming. Okay, then in case of comatose, in here it also the new one is from the axillary bud. The new one is arising. Clear it is. And here the plant get blended. Okay, so what happens? The plant get bended, then the new roots are arising from this bending portion. Okay, so these roots are fixed into the soil and they can lead a separate life. And this is an example for the Eichhornia pistia. Eichhornia pistia shows offset type of vegetative reproduction. And here is the example for the sucker. The roots, slender roots are forming and they are showing parallel to the soil. Okay, so these are the different type of vegetative reproduction methods. So today we have discussed different type of asexual reproduction methods. The first one that we discussed, that is fission. Fission is two types, binary fission and multiple fission. Next we discussed budding, exogenous budding and endogenous budding. Then we discussed different type of spores, conidiospores and zoospores. Then fragmentation and regeneration. Then the formation of gemmules that we discussed. Then we discussed different type of vegetative propagation method. Okay, rhizome, tuber, bulb, runner, offset, sucker, bulbils, leaf buds. All these are the examples of different type of vegetative reproduction methods. Rhizome, in case of rhizome, example for rhizome is ginger. In rhizome, the new organisms are formed from the nodes and internodes. Okay, in case of tuber, the new organisms are formed from the eyes. Eyes represent the nodes. In case of bulb, the new organisms are arised from the adventitious root. In case of runner, new organisms are organized from the adventitious roots. In case of offset, axillary buds from the axillary buds, the new organisms are forming. And in case of sucker, from the base of the basal stem of the parental body originate into new organisms. Example for the sucker type is chrysanthemum, banana and pineapple. In case of bulbils, they are not forming flowers. Aerial vegetative buds are forming. They develop as an inflorescence axis. The detachment of this bulbils result in new plants. Okay, example for this bulbils is agave or century plant. Then leaf buds, example for this leaf buds is bryophyllum. In bryophyllum, adventitious buds develop along from the leaf margins. Okay, so the leaf buds detached from the parental body and lead a new life. So all these are the examples for asexual reproduction. So asexual reproduction is common among the organisms with simple organization. So example for the organism is algae and fungi. These organisms adapt to sexual mode of reproduction just before the beginning of the unfavorable conditions. The sexual reproduction of such an organism result before unfavorable condition. So they most of the organism led asexual type of reproduction. Most of the organism means simple organisms which are preferred asexual type of reproduction. Clear?